Hey everybody, hey Toulouse, happy afternoon. We are gonna pick right up where we left off. We had the quest stuff. I don't think we're gonna do this one. Actually, I don't kind of want to do either one of these just yet. Yeah, I want to do these toward the end, which means we need to do it this way. Yeah, I want to get to the player-wide skill tree and just think of how that's gonna work. So this should be easy enough to do. When completing the quest, upgrade the shop. Let's go take a look at that. Right now, that's something that Shopkeep does. So we'll just have it happen twice for right now. Will I create a loop? I don't think so. Scary thunder without any rain or cloud. What's going on? Does this have quest completion stuff? It should. Quest progress updated. Where do we complete a quest? Update quest item progress. Oh, I guess here. Yeah, here. Don't understand what's going on. I mean, maybe it's not thunder. Maybe you got transported to Arrakis. It's a giant worm. Our upgrade shop and grant you quest points. Where do we grant quest points? I mean, quest points don't even exist in the game yet. But eventually we need them to exist. I think we'll do this somewhere here. There's on shop upgraded. That's presumably called from over here. Setup shops, yeah. And how often does this get called? Once? Okay, cool. Well, we're going to do on quest completed. And we should have which quest was completed here. Yeah, we should pass it in with the quest before it's made null. Yep. Then take this quest, put that in the right spot. Then over here, we're going to have like on quest completed, I guess. I don't know. No need to come up with a very creative name. Private void on quest completed. Quest. So here's where we're going to just give quest points. To do grant quest points. Hey, Darkstorm. Hey, Remy. You realize working on quests is a quest in your life right now, of which the reward is being able to make quests? Never thought about it that way, Remy. Excuse me. I guess your quest is to watch me make quests. It's the never-ending quest. Do you accept the quest? I think your reward is... You decline. Okay, well, just don't even listen to the reward then. I was going to say $10 million. A little too bad. What a sucker. All you had to do is watch. Yeah, I understand the request to go to bed. I'm sure house renovation and everything has been really busy. Plus, you probably didn't get a lot of sleep over the weekend. Never, ever give up an opportunity to call somebody a sucker. That's the biggest thing I've learned in my life. Show new quest indicator, quest. We're not going to use this, though. Wait a second. What is this? On shop upgraded. Oh, that doesn't take in a quest. Okay, fine. Then we need to do this differently. Quest. And call that. Cool. Never said euros, dollars, hairs. I mean, I think with 10 million of practically anything, you can find a way to make money. 10 million bees, 10 million hairs. Yeah, I think you can find a way to make money. Might be tedious. I was just thinking, I think there was an XKCD a while ago that talked about how they would order something on Amazon automatically throughout the year or through eBay or something like that, just so they get packages to show up on their doorstep. Well, what if we offered a service which was you get 10 million of something on your doorstep, but you're not sure what it's going to be? The 10 million honey sticks. Early Google employee. Wait, we're your message made me think of a bunch of things and then just kind of froze my brain. Yeah, Google Glass is still a thing, right? They have a page. Oh, we will no longer sell Glass Enterprise Edition. Okay. Nobody wants 10 million fire ants. Somebody probably wants them. I gotta say, there can't be no one in the world who wants 10 million fire ants. No, it's not a thing. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Anyway, hi Trackley. Welcome back. All right. So upgrade the shop, grant quest points. Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty good. Let's see if this is working. Hello to you too, Chris. Welcome back to you too. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit weird, but here's how we're going to do this. We're going to click accept a quest. We're going to complete the quest. And then we should actually get another shop display here. So we should have the 7th one. We just need to wait for it to finish. Oh, great. They ran out of axes. There. Yeah, cool. That worked. And it granted us another quest that we could do, which I don't really care about. And if we finish this one, the same general thing should happen. And we should see 2 printouts saying we need quest points, or we get quest points, or we will get them. There are no fire swords, are there? There's one. Done. Cool. Yeah, did it print? Yep, it did. Cool. Take care, Amy. What if 10 million Z's leaves you with like 5 years of sleep that you've completed all in one night? That actually is a really good quest reward. So you don't upgrade your shop anymore? You complete quests for that? I think so. Because one of the things that people were talking about in the feedback of checkpoint number 1 is they're like, upgrade shop, not obvious what it does until I've purchased it. So what I'm thinking is, what if quests show up when you find a quest item for the first time, and then you accept it, you complete it, you get quest points and an upgraded shop. And I think I like this idea. It's like you can't get the next item display until you've completed the quest. You have something like this in the US called chip drop. Never heard of this. It's pretty crazy. Wow. Yeah. 10 million of those. I'll have to look into that a little more later. See what it's about. Okay, so we upgrade the shop now. Now grant quest points. I guess one of the things we're gonna have to do later is make it so that you don't upgrade the shop by using the dialogue anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So cancel this, I don't care. And then grant quest points. We got to put this somewhere. We need all of your player-wide skill stuff somewhere. And we need to do some design for this first, because I don't know what this is going to look like. So let's go start with the skill tree. The skill tree stores what? A special kind of button? Yeah, skill button. And skill button has an ability ID. So one way that we could do this is we could make the player-wide skills abilities. Like there could be an ability here that's called like customer speed increase. So I want to consider what that would mean to do that. I guess really all we need is a way for you to be able to put points into something, take them out, see a tooltip. There need to be prerequisites and everything. I guess what do we gain? We just need to know that this thing exists. I don't think making them skills like that is a good idea. But I think having a skill button, why is this ability ID here? Because the skill tree uses it all over the place. So if we had a different kind of button, like a player-wide skill button. Well, we have tooltips. What are the tooltips for? Is ability.get tooltip. And what's the most basic form of an ability? It's got an ID, it's got a display name, it's got a level. I don't know. Seems an awful lot like this would fit for the player. Oh man, it seems like a good idea, but maybe it's not. It's like, let's say you had a class that was like, I don't know, point, and it had int x, int y. And then you're doing some like, I don't know, temperature conversion. I guess let's make these floats. You could technically use a point and store degrees Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius, but that'd be kind of stupid because it's called point. So instead, you'd make it like pair, float pair, something like that. So here, this is called base ability, and it does everything we need it to do. It's got 2 floats in it, but it's not really an ability. Also, how do these tooltips render? Is that ever going to be a problem? I'm very tempted to use this system. Skills. Active ones show a cooldown, but this is just a tooltip, yeah. Pretty compelling. Pretty compelling. Would it be so bad if I went in the wrong direction and then had to back up afterward? Basic 2 float holder. Do not use for temperatures. Warning and an emoji in the variable name. All right. So let's say we use the ability system and we decide later that it was a bad idea. Then I guess we just make the new system. Yeah. All right. Then what else happens with abilities? Because these would probably be passive abilities. And what does a passive ability do? It's literally just a base ability with an ID. So I guess nothing. And how do we set up something like execute then? Execute is a passive ability granting a buff at the beginning of battle, which has an initialize with the battle system. Where does this come from? Base ability. All right, so then this makes no sense for player stuff. There needs to be a special player ability, which gets a special kind of initializer. Because there could be an ability. I guess you just need to think through a couple of these buffs. I'm gonna write this down. Make player ability gets a special kind of initializer. So I guess sample abilities would be like plus 10% damage for all adventurers, plus 10% customer speed. What are other ones? I don't know, plus 10% item sell price. Stuff like that. So we need some way of querying what your abilities are, or like you just got an ability, so we grant it. Player ability would probably have level changed and some battle specific thing that can affect any kind of entity, player or enemy. Yeah, I guess it could be something like minus 10% enemy life. So it doesn't just have to be your adventurers. Maybe rename to apply modifier to make it more generic. Well, I'm just thinking, what are the events that happen? Player ability would need these events. So level changed. When you add or remove a point, we use this to add, remove, update the buff / debuff. Well, to remove the effect, I guess, of the ability. Then there'd probably be some like on start battle. This is for anything affecting battlers. And I think that's pretty much it. So how would you get all of the player abilities? Would you even need to? I guess you would need to. Battle system, instance manager. Need to track this somewhere. So that basically when you start a battle, didn't mean to do that. When you start a battle, we have like create player battlers, create enemy battlers. Yeah. And this stuff only happens from the one spot. Yes. Also in advance the next stage. But I guess there could be something at the beginning of every stage of battle. Yeah, so I guess there'd be on start battle and on start stage of battle. Maybe this is called, yeah, maybe there's just this. For anything affecting battlers, the implementer can figure out whether they only want to work on stage 0, the beginning of a battle. So we would, I guess, advance to next stage is, yeah, we'd have a call here for something like apply player effects or something. But then what gets, where does this go? We'd pass in the battle system. There'd just be an event that this is happening and we don't care what happens. Okay. Yeah. And then town can figure this out. Town would go through everything. No, town just needs to get the skills. I did not make the sprites, no. Also, hey again, Russ Floppy. The credits for the game are here. It's a list of 3 people. Including myself, I guess. It would be 4 people. So we probably have some class for like player. Yeah, let me write that down too. Make a class for player skills. Would just track however we do it for abilities component. In fact, you could sort of have a player that has an abilities component because this is just a list of abilities and we already know how to serialize these. But then there's all this stuff like initialize for instance. And we'd be adding this to some like fake player entity. I could just save it somewhere. Modify ability level. We don't have a level changed thing. And that would be for the abilities component. Yeah. This could just be an abilities component. But we wouldn't have an entity. Wait, we wouldn't need an entity though, right? None of this accesses the entity. It's just a... Yeah, we wouldn't need this. Interesting. All right, there's one piece of this I'm missing somehow. Yeah, it's how do you get this in the battle system? How do you... Player ability has a function that's called... Yeah, so from the battle system, how do you access player abilities? Option number 1 could be emit a signal saying battle started. The town listens and uses the battle system to call like battle system dot initialize player abilities for battle. That's option number 1. Option number 2, keep the player abilities in each battle. Or like capture them at the beginning maybe. This is one of those things where I don't know if it's going to be clear to players. Like you can have a battle ongoing and then you can modify your skill tree. It won't affect the ongoing battle. I don't know if people are going to expect that to be the case. Imagine if in the middle of battle you gave yourself like plus 10% damage. Or, I don't know, you really micromanage things and like toggle between minus 20% damage taken and plus 20% damage dealt as your characters were taking their turns. That's like gameplay I don't want to incentivize. And I don't think people would really do that anyway. It's a single player game. But I still just don't think it should really be possible. I expect it to not apply until the next battle. Yeah, well, and that's how player skills, or sorry, that's how adventurer skills work already too. So I guess there's already a precedent for that. So yeah, this option number 2 wouldn't be so bad, maybe. Keep the player abilities in each battle. How do we do this for... I think we just clone abilities. We just clone abilities. So we could just clone the player abilities too. Okay, I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. Pass in a clone of the player abilities to battle system. Yeah, this seems pretty reasonable. So we store your abilities inside of an abilities component, which is going to be the first time we use a component for the player. Is there anything we're lacking here? I guess the inheritance hierarchy, I haven't figured out how that's going to work. I guess technically every player ability has to be at least a passive ability. Passive ability is just a blank class right now. So we could inherit from passive ability and call it like player passive ability. What inherits from this? Passive ability granting buff and then a whole bunch of specific things. Yeah, that's it. So just passive ability granting buff. And what does this do? Grants a buff at the beginning of battle. Many passive abilities are implemented this way, so this cuts out some of the boilerplate. We might want that too, though. Node source. Yeah, I think we might want this. So we only know that something is a player ability by where it's stored. But I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. I can see this coming together. How would we exactly call this? Hey, Phoenix. You have to separate adventurer-specific abilities from those town-specific ones. I don't see any reason for applying customer speed. But do they need to be separated? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't see a need to separate them. And that way we have... I mean, we could make like categories or tags or something if we really wanted to, but I don't even see that there's a problem with that. All right, I just want to figure out how we would use this. So where is this used? This is used by something like execute. Execute is given to an entity. How do we... Where is this called? Get buff initialize. Yeah, where's this called? It's called at the beginning of a battle. Here it is. Initialize for instance. All right, so could we do this for player stuff? Yeah, we could. We'd just be getting the ability component from something that's not the entity. Okay, I'm pretty much convinced. I think this is a great system. Yeah. Initialize for battle. Is there still something that's missing? These events. It's not really an event. The level change thing is pretty important, though. Yeah. Okay, so this would really be like initialize, for instance. We don't really have this, do we? There's no concept right now of an ability that only does something in a particular stage of battle. Then again, I guess there's no reason for the player abilities to do that either, huh? Yeah, okay, fine. Should really be initialized, for instance. Only we pull the abilities component from the player rather than an entity. And level changed. Player ability. So we would just have passive ability. All right, I wonder if we just code a couple of these and see if they work. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Code a few of these and just make sure that we can do it through code even. start by making some abilities that can be added or removed through a simple UI or through code or through keyboard input, just to see if the skills actually work. Okay, yeah, I'm glad we did that amount of planning at least. So we need an abilities component somewhere. I'm going to save this here for now. So let's just say private abilities component player abilities or player skills, player abilities. Yeah, player abilities. All right, now we need to create this. We're going to need to save this at some point too, but for now, let's just put this in start game. We will make a new abilities component. Do we need to give it anything? We do. Your abilities. I guess just an empty collection. So this means you have no abilities. Let's give one ability that does like plus 1000% damage. Some like crazy thing just so we know that this works. Player ability, or no, maybe, yeah, I'll just write player, debug player ability. Okay, new debug player ability. We don't have a class for that yet, obviously. I say obviously, but I wasn't really thinking about this. So we're going to save this as debug player ability. To do add tooltip. Remember the number 37. I'm probably not going to check this in, but it actually is pretty funny. Because I guess if the save files are transparent and you do happen to know that this exists, yeah, you could get some pretty crazy damage numbers. And then people are like, how'd you do that? You're like, I'm not telling. So execute buff, we're going to call this debug player ability buff. Because I don't care to come up with names. And then we need an effect for this. This would just be a power buff, I guess. Power buff. There's no on damage dealt. In fact, isn't there already a power buff somewhere? Why'd I even do this? Power buff is an effect with a lifetime that has a duration. Okay, let's just try adding this. Let's delete this thing. There, deleted the file. Hey, completely unrelated. Give me the power. Oh, you'll get this, Ski. You'll get this. But there's a terrible cost. All of your adventurers only have 1 HP. It's a matter of, can you win a battle fast enough? All right, so get buff is going to return a power buff. And what does this take in? Source, affected entity, power increase, and... Okay, what is power increase? Is that a percentage? Oh, I think it's a power buff from percent power. Yeah, this is what I want. All right, how's that work? Where, what, even, what? Public static power buff from percent power. Why can't I call that? Hey, Typecraft. Thanks for the raid. I am doing Java right now. That's why it says, what file are we in? Debug playerability.java, see? Anyway, how's it going? We're making a game called Skeleseller, and I am trying to code a 1000% power increase buff so that I can test something. Yeah. Oh, that's why, because I'm being silly about this. Okay, so we have this. We need a percent increase. We're going to set this to, I guess 1000% would be 10. And then a duration. We're going to set this to 99999, whatever. Just make this practically... You remember Botland? Yeah. Been a long time since then. How was your stream, Typecraft? Botland from way back in the day. I'll show Skeleseller in just a sec. I just need to make sure this doesn't have any build errors before we do that. It's like Java LARP. Yeah, it kind of is. Is that something you came up with? Debug player ability could not be found. Now it can be, although what, does this have a, no, I don't see any problem here. All right, yeah, here's the game. So this is Skeleseller. It's a very laid back, casual game. You run a town and you hire adventurer. Oh wait, is this broken? This is broken. This is super broken. Missing data, drat. Wait, one sec. we just need to add in this new ability. Debug player ability. Debug player ability. I don't think this will even show up anywhere in the game. Okay, let's try that. PS5 release is coming once I port this to Java, which should happen shortly. And there. Now the PS5 version is out. Please play up. Sorry, I've discontinued it. Well, you missed your window. Anyway, you run a town in this game and you hire adventurers to do battle. So we start with our rogue adventurer here. And if we just start battle, they go into an automated battle. This is something you only end up controlling through which party you send to battle and which skills you've chosen. So we have a bunch of different skills here and we have no points, so we can't actually add them yet. But then once you win the battle, you get items in your town, which your adventurer and your worker will go over and use to stock the shops. And then these customers that have been wandering around can buy those items. And from the money you get, so there I just made 20 bucks. And if I make another 20, I can hire another adventurer. Nice. So now I have a mage. There's my mage walking around. And we could go into a different battle now. So if I go into start battle, actually I guess I have the mage and the rogue fight two different battles at once. Is that a do-it-yourself split keyboard? It's a Korn, which is like a well-known keyboard that you could build for yourself. I did a minor modification to the design of it so that it would be easier to solder, although it's still really hard to solder. Anyway, that's the general game, Skeleseller. So on July 26th, I want to launch the next playable demo of this. You could technically play it now. I don't recommend doing that. But if this looks interesting to you, I'd love for you to try it to get your feedback. There is quite a lot to do before the final launch of the game. So, I mean, you see a lot of like, I don't know, there's only one fireball moving pretty slowly. There's no real effects and stuff. But we've been making good progress. I mean, this is what, day 28 or 29 or something of streaming this. So I'd say it's a lot of progress for that short amount of time. And yeah, everything's running pretty smoothly. So what we've been working on lately has been, well, as of pretty much today, is revamping the quest system. And that is two parts. The quests themselves, which is, they're just fetch items. I mean, it's a game about selling items, so fetching items makes sense. And then the rewards, which are going to be a player-wide skill tree. You get these quest points. I might call them something different in the future. And it's just a skill tree like anything else you might see. So you get something like all your adventurers do more damage or customers move faster or something. What you doing over here? Boy, was the matter. What, Xavier? I don't know what "oi was the matter" means. There might be an acronym, I don't know. Anyway, hi. I might not know what you're saying, but I welcome you in the stream nonetheless. Let's see. So we need to give this to the battle system so that it can initialize this for all of... Oh, wait. Oh, it's not necessarily all of your entities, because we might want to decrease the enemy power. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch. But I think most people end up watching through Twitch. I've probably had like 2 YouTube viewers for the past couple weeks. I'm not really advertising it anywhere. Yeah, we need some way of differentiating between players and enemies for this. So this part's done. So how will we grant buffs based on player versus enemy? Well, we have this debug player ability. We could split passive ability granting buff to be based on what team it's on. Yeah, because this assumes that it's going to be on the entity that had this. Maybe it is better to just have like an initialize at the beginning of battle. If YouTube just tried showing people that were, people were live. I don't think they have much of a financial incentive to do that. Because I imagine the watch rate for live streams is lower than pre-recorded videos, or else they would just be pushing live streams more. Okay, so option number 1 could be make another class like... No, actually, we could... Let me write this down as option number 2. Make this take in the team to effect. This is stupid. Yeah, make another class like passive ability granting buff to team. Option number 2 is have the ability take in the battles, all battlers, and figure out which ones to give buffs to. I think I'm leaning this way. Really informational video about your keyboard journey? Yeah, well, look, I think it's great to spread the joy of these keyboards around. Oh. I don't know if you're the same person or you're just mocking Xavier what it do. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Tom. I hope you also saw the newer video. Although I guess it's just like, what is this keyboard all about? There's some overlap there. So have the ability to take in all battlers and figure out which ones to give buffs to. So we wouldn't do things this way. Debug player ability. We would have some other thing. Player-wide battle ability. Yeah. Let's try that. Yeah, why not? So let's save this as player battle ability. An ability that is granted player-wide that affects battles. Okay, so passive ability, we're going to call it player battle ability. Get buff we don't need, I guess. Passive ability initialize with the battle system. We don't have a source this time. No, but we need to know what level the ability is, right? So we need the abilities component or the ability itself. No, this is the ability. What am I talking about? No, yeah, I don't think we need anything then. I think we just need the... Which battlers are in this? Do we have a way of getting that? Player battlers? I guess we can just get all the battlers and then filter them by team. Okay, that works. Oh, no, we have the... What am I talking about? We have all the team stuff here, right? Yeah. Filter battlers by team. Yep. Call it a break. Thanks for streaming again. Okay. I will call it a break. Also, I hope I didn't miss a response from Typecraft, but I was curious how the stream went. The viewers who were there, feel free to answer. How did you enjoy Typecraft's stream? Rated on a scale of 1 to Java. All right, debug player ability again. So we're going to go here. We're going to change this to player battle ability. This won't exist. And initialize, I guess, is not sealed. Oh, wait, we can't override something with this. Unless we pass in null. Oh, darn it. I'm not totally sure what I want to do just yet. I guess there's already an initialize in the base, but it has a different signature from what I want. I just want the battle system. I don't need this node. And I don't think you can hide that exists. No, it wouldn't make sense. Break polymorphism. Well, we could just make another thing here. We know these have to be player battle abilities. All right, well, I'll just not have it override. Let's make a new function altogether. And this could be virtual? Yeah. All right. Well, as long as I'm just, messing around doing whatever, We'll eventually see if this works, and we'll see if we're doing like 1,000 damage here. Okay, so now we want to override this. Public override. Initialize. We could override either one, I suppose. I want to override this one. Filter battlers by team. So what we're going to do is we're going to get player battlers equals battle system filter team player. That's me, I'm the team player. Good. Then iterate over all of them and add a buff. How do we add a buff? No, I'm the team player. No, I'm the team player. All right. So like this. So buff is going to be new power buff. I already deleted that other code, didn't I? Player battler, player battle. Oh, technically, I guess the source of this is going to be your player. Oh, well, I'm not doing that. Power increase is 10 and the duration is a whole bunch. And then we add this to the player battler. Generate class. Debug player ability. What is this? There's some AI thing that was added. All right. Are we good? So initialize, we get all the player battlers, we give them a crazy buff, and they'll go on to win the Olympics. I have not initialized this though. So every time you start a battle, oh boy, how do we want to do this? Oh, this ability is going to be good. This is a primo ability. This is an ability so good, you've got to hack it into the game to get it. Why is my case not resting correctly? There we go. Oh yeah, the best. Primo stuff. Player wants to start battle, calls start battle, calls chose instance party, which goes into this, which calls into this, which calls started battle.invoke, which goes into the instance manager. Yeah, so what I think we could do is we could pass in the abilities at that point, like passing your player abilities. And then create instance would pass that on to the battle system, which it must be creating here. Please tell me you are. Yeah, instance.init. Yeah, so we pass this pretty far down. Well, let's just do it. See what happens. Abilities component. All right, player abilities. Now we just need to change everything. Oh, man. Abilities component, player abilities. Yeah. And then we have one more of those. Started battle. It's too bad F12 isn't instantaneous. It's like 200 milliseconds before it opens something up. Just enough for me to perceive. Okay, player abilities. We're going to pass this into the instance, I think. Yep. Which means we go into here, put that there. We import this. Okay, so the abilities, we're eventually going to create a battle system. Here it is. We're just going to initialize that, I guess, with the player abilities. And then this might need to store them. Create players, create enemies, and then go through each ability. Initialize. Actually, you know what? There's already an initialize thing. We'll just use that. So should this be before or after the battlers are initialized? I don't know if it matters. Yeah, I don't know if it matters. But I guess we need to pass this in, so let's do that. Player abilities. No, you know what? This is dumb. Let's make a new function. Might as well. Also, why is this public? Where's this called? Nowhere. Yeah, this should be private. This should probably also be private. Where is this called? Elsewhere. Okay, no, it shouldn't be. Well, we need another one. Initialize player abilities. Have I played Elden Ring? No, I haven't. I downloaded it and just never opened it. What are your thoughts on indie game development competition with games like that? I think they're in different, just, I don't know, like layers of audience that you might have. I don't think it's entirely true. I think some people just want to play a game and they don't care who makes it or anything. But I generally think there's an audience for indie games that exists outside of the AAA audience. But anyway, even if they were in the exact same realm, you can't compete with a game like that as an indie dev. Like you just the amount of art and music and sound effects alone is too much for one person to make or a small team to make. So you cut corners or you make do with fewer resources. And part of what that means is it gives indie games a certain look sometimes and certain, I don't know, like expectations and scope. But I think a lot of people making indie games aren't necessarily doing it for business, or at least not completely for business. I think there's a lot of passion in the industry in general. I think that's true too of the people who are making AAA games. But if you're making a game for fun and also for business, then you've accomplished the fun part just by making the game. Given someone would do the art, Adam would compliment the user request. I am still not sure what you're saying. Anyway, Sniper, if there was more to that, I'm happy to talk about it. I think there's only so much you can do if you don't have the massive resources that are used by AAA games. Also, some AAA games, it's not like they're just, oh, they spent $5 million. It's like some of these are movie budgets. Are you real? They're definitely real. I think I think there's just something's up right now. I don't know what it is. So go through each ability in the player abilities. How do we even get them all? Oh, like that. Okay. And what are they? Presumably base abilities? I want the ones that are of type player battle ability. And I guess let's just name it player battle ability. And then we just initialize it with this. And that's it. We should be good. Yeehaw. Let's go try it out. Rockstar Games have $200 million plus budgets. Yeah. Oh, come on. What did I mess up? There is no argument given. Debug create instance. Oh, whoops. Okay, well, this should take in the player abilities. Done. Oh, create instance doesn't have that? What? What is create instance even doing? This can't be right. What? I don't think this is, I don't think this is an error. I'm just going to try building. I think it's lying to me. And I have a tattoo on my arm that says, don't believe his lies. Yeah, okay. It worked. What do we do? Oh, we start a battle and then we see if we do like 30 damage instead of 3. That's not 30. What have I done? What have I done? Did I grant the buff? I don't know what's going on. Let's just debug this. How do we debug this? We go to battle system. Keep going to bat instead of battle system. I don't know what I'm typing. Just put a breakpoint here. You followed me since 2016, yeah. Elden Ring was 75 million plus, kind of small for what it made. Yeah, I haven't played Elden Ring, but I've just seen snippets here and there, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, and it looks pretty impressive. So I don't know exactly what yeah, it's hard for me to gauge a game based on that little amount of gameplay. So can't really chime in too much, I guess. All right, so I'm going to hit this button. It should break in. Yep, and we should have one ability. And we do. Okay, this should be, what's it called? Debug player ability, sure. We call initialize. What's happening here? We go through each player. There should be one. Good. Then we give them a buff. Why is this not working? Power buff takes in what? Float power increase. What is going on here? Everything looks fine here. What is the duration measured in? Is it in seconds? Really should have said what it is, huh? Wait, effect with lifetime. Oh, that's the proc. Timed effect, proc interval, time remaining. Time remaining is, yeah, milliseconds. All right, I should really write that down here. Did I? Seriously, wait, what? I don't remember doing this. Delta's in milliseconds. Is it? No, is it? Oh my God, I have no idea. I don't remember any of this. Godot, process, delta. Where are you? Seconds. Time elapsed in seconds. Oh, yeah, no, that's wrong. So then I did this correctly. I wrote the comment wrong. Where did I write that comment? There it is, in seconds. Yeah. So as far as I can tell, this has the right buff on here. So why are you not doing 1 billion damage? Yeah. 4 is not 1 billion. What is going on here? Debug player. I'm going to try something else here. Let's try setting the power increase to 1,000. Because maybe something is happening and there's just a really tiny damage multiplier. That might be what's going on. So if I multiply this by, well, 100 times what it was before, I should see very large numbers here. Like 400. Oh yeah, that's working. Good. So this is strange. Quick Strike has a power multiplier. Yeah, 0.2. So this is getting multiplied by your power, which I think is 10? 12. Okay, so 0.2 times 12 times 1,000 is 2,400. So why am I doing 200 damage? I don't know. Hey, Timon. Maybe it adds to it, not multiplies or something? I think there's some other calculation happening here that I just don't seem to recall. Power buff has a power increase. Oh my goodness. I know what's happening. It's your absolute power, not your percent power. If you want percent power, oh, I had that and I cut it out. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. Oh, well, now it's 1,000%. Which I'll just set it back to, what is that? No. Now it's 1,000%. Before it was, I don't know, like 10,000 or 100,000%. Yeah. So that means that every attack should do 30 damage, I think. Yeah, that's good. Okay, it's working how I thought it should. Maybe add to it. Yeah, I think your guess was pretty much right. I have two concepts of a power buff here, and they both collapse into the same one. This is a power buff with an absolute amount, because it's just a float power increase, and this is power percent increase. Maybe I should write that here. Buffs power by an absolute amount. You want to buff it by a percentage. See that? Wow, good job, AI. Real pat on the back for that one. All right, so we proved we can do that. Now let's buff the enemies by 1,000%. debug player ability. We're just going to get the enemy team and run that. And now my character should die really fast. In fact, I don't know how many hits they can take before they die. Their life is like 100. No, let's see. It should do a ton of damage. Yeah, 110. Okay, so they can take 2 hits, then they die. Battle lost. Hey, don't you ruin number 37. It's too late. It's already over. Team.skidog. All right, this is pretty nice. I mean, look, this fit in very easily, and sure, I changed a million lines of code for that, but in the future, you can just make an ability like what you see here, and then customize this with the level of the ability, which I think is always hard-coded to 1 right now, but I should be able to pass in level. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so there's that ability. That proves that that works. Now we need to increase customer speed or something like that. Yeah. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. Okay. A little too warm in this room. Maybe item sell price. Where do items get sold? I actually don't know where that happens. Customers? Customers buy it. Customers do it then. Customers have a state machine. State machine is buy item. Buy item modifies money. Just calls modify money though. So we need a specific pipeline for selling items so that we don't just always give you more money. Hey again, Caleb. Did you get your food? Made fish and chips. You're on a roll making stuff. Started using KeyPass a while ago when I asked about it in Discord, and I'm in love with it. Feel much safer having passwords it creates for me. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. I just thought of something. I could sync my database through sync thing. I never thought of doing that. Although I guess I really don't use it on too many different devices. Any chance one could post pictures? If you want to post pictures in this chat, you mean? Yeah, sure. Discord too. Either one's fine. Is it worth doing this? Yeah, I guess so, but I might need the UI for it. Maybe. So torn. I think part of why I'm torn is I'm getting like very tired. I think I probably just needed more sleep, and probably this morning was an indication of that. But still, let's see what we can do. I don't want to have to code everything like in my off time. Yeah, I want some like money buff. All right, fine. I'll just make some changes. So this, instead of debug player ability, we're going to call this like debug player power ability. And then just rename debug player ability everywhere. Debug player power ability. No. Does Alt Enter not do that? How do you activate this? Alt Command Enter. There we go. That should have changed everything. But this is red now. Just need to find the right angle. My special power. Just give me a protractor and I'll lean in the perfect direction. Namespace passive already contains a definition. How? Because I didn't delete the old one? Apparently not. I am not paying attention to anything I'm doing anymore. Yep, there are 2 of these. Okay, well, fine. I love Java too. I actually don't have a problem with Java. I don't really have a problem with many languages. What did I just do? I just renamed this. Yeah, now I wanted to make a money ability or something. Okay, so that one would be special, and then it would be a passive ability that every time you do something, you would need to consult this ability. That's really not too bad. Let's go make a new ability then. Ability. We'll call it debug player money ability. Remember this number, Ski. 38. Don't forget that one. Do you have some videos on how you plan to develop things like money component, town component? Not really. I just kind of leave it up to when people ask me in chat. I'll just answer the questions. So in this particular case, and I think this is kind of true with, forget 37 or 38. I think it's kind of true with every code base is you typically have some precedent for doing things, and that precedent should have been well designed. And if it is well designed, then the next time you have a task that you want to do that has a precedent, you just follow that well designed precedent. That doesn't always work because sometimes you come up with different requirements and then you need to change even the precedent that you had, or you need to form a new precedent. So in this case, it's like what you're talking about with components follows the entity component system, and the components are just bundles of data, and some of them are really, really simple. So like battle stats component has exactly what you'd expect, has a power value, has a fortitude value. That's it. The other two functions here are just convenience things that this just makes another one of these, clones it, and this just prints out some information. That's it. So this is super straightforward. If I need another thing that holds data, I'll probably make a component for it. Then systems act on these components. So battle stats is acted on by battle system. So battle system handles finding targets, getting which team members are alive, handling stats, calculating all that stuff. Forced to do elite code every day to get in. You're not forced to. I feel like if you want to get into big tech, yeah, you're kind of forced to. But you don't have to get into big tech. So you could find plenty of jobs where they don't go through a elite code style process. Show and tell, yes. Yeah. Show and tell, probably, yeah. I'm really losing it. The money thing, did I add it? No, I didn't. Okay, so debug player power ability is here. Let's say this is debug player money ability. I kind of wanted to make a customer speed one. Just replace this with money. Okay, so in this case, this is really just a passive ability. We don't even need anything else, right? Passive ability. We need a description at some point, sure. Yeah, I think the other thing is different countries do things differently. So, I mean, I can't comment too much on other countries, but the US does have, from what I understand, more elite code than other countries, but it's generally the big jobs. You said where I come from? I'm guessing it's not the US then? Because yeah, that's entirely possible. I don't know what your country or your market is like. But yeah, in the US at least, you don't need to do elite code. And it is generally big tech that does that. So now the way we would test this is in town. Let's just go modify money. And we'll say if, how do we do this? Player abilities dot get level. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now we want ability ID dot debug infinite money. It's actually debug player money ability. So how about this? Let's just say amount times equal this plus 1. Yeah. So if how would I even test this? I would just sell some items. Yeah, let's sell some items. Oh, in India, I see. Yeah. It broke. What broke? Missing data. Oh my God. This is annoying. Why do I even have to do this? I feel like I should not have to do this. Yeah. I should probably cut this out because this is super annoying. We should just give a display name to the abilities and then make an attribute that does this for me. Yeah, this is annoying. Money ability. I'll just write that down as unrelated cleanup. Get rid of having to manifest abilities in multiple locations. Just make an attribute and look through those at runtime. Multiple currencies. We don't need multiple currencies. Debug infinite money. When AI codes bank software. Okay, now it's looking good. Now what I want to do is I want to grant an item, and whatever you see on the price, so 15, that's how much I should get when I sell this. So should go to 15. It did not go anywhere. Did I not add 1 to that? Okay, if so, I'm clearly not. No, I did add 1. Get level of ability should return 0 then. It did. I don't have this ability. What? What's going on here? Let's put a breakpoint there. That should... Let's just speed this up. Amount should be 15. Yeah. This should be 0. Through an exception. Well, that's not 0. Get ability. What's that do? What is going wrong here? What? What did I do? Oh, is this because modify money is called before you even have player abilities? Maybe? Yeah, that is what's happening. Higher Adventurer does it. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Well, now I know that. Okay, I guess technically there's no problem with me setting this here to just a new component. Yeah, now that won't happen, I think. Stop adding 1 and embrace an off lifestyle. Better be careful with that. Off by 1 with your life could mean you're either dead or doubly alive. Okay, so now when I sell an item, we should get the amount of money. So 15 and then 30. Oh, damn. Okay. And 30. Yeah, cool. Now we're going to do something totally different here. We're going to go to debug player power ability, and we're going to add in a new debug player money ability. How does this work? Does it become level 1? I think so. So now every time we get money, we get double the money. Hey, Daniela. How you doing? All right, grant items. So 2 axes, and each one should now give us double the money. But the customer still only spend the same amount. Yep, perfect. Oh, so cool. Had enough coffee to be doubly alive. This is like Fry when he had 300 coffees or 100 coffees. Welcome back, Godot. Thanks for the resub. Enjoy your 300 Nixon bucks. Doing great so far. Glad to hear it. All right, so I think we've proven that we can do this stuff. I mean, we didn't handle customer speed. Let's just think of how we would handle it, although I'm probably not gonna handle it. So somewhere here we have a speed value. Yeah, we need to pull this from a component. You need like a speed buff component. Yeah, I mean, I could at least kind of think of how I'd do this. Why did I choose to implement abilities by code and not data defined in some file structure? I think it'd be hard to make them purely data oriented. I'll show you what some of these abilities do, for example. Like, let's look at execute. This is anytime an enemy is at a certain amount of life, you can potentially insta-kill them. Like, coming up with how to do this in data would be... Like, this code would have to exist somewhere. And then your ability, execute, would probably just look like this. Like, insta-kill at life amount, whatever, 15%. This is how you would data define this. And then you're coding this. But there's no real reason to do that unless multiple abilities use this particular property. Otherwise, you're just putting a bunch of custom code in these things. So yeah, the question is, do any other abilities also kind of use that same general structure? And it's kind of tough. Like Fireball, yes, just does damage to one target, but then it's modified by a couple of other skills you can get, like Burn, which will make it do damage over time. And there's something else that makes it, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff going on. But yeah, I think this makes more sense. It also keeps all of the code with an ability in the ability itself. Although that's not a huge benefit, I guess, if you're going to do things in a data-defined, data-driven way. All right, so what do we do here? Grant quest points. We haven't done that. Oh, yeah. Darn it. We were going to make a thing for this that wraps all of that. So the player has an abilities component, and then they should also have a number of quest points somewhere. I think I'm just going to stream for another like 45 minutes. I probably won't take a break and then probably just end it because I'm feeling more tired than I should be. Guess we already streamed for like 4 hours. Like I already lost my train of thought and I didn't even have anything interrupt that other than taking a drink of water. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, storing quest points. Yeah, so what I was thinking is we have an abilities component here. This stores your player abilities. What if we also put, we could either, well, I guess we could just manifest another int somewhere and put it here. In fact, what do you even need to know about quest points? Just your skill tree, right? Take a bus. Int. All right, so how about this? Here's a fun task. What do we call the points you get from completing quests that you use in your player-wide skill tree? Call them quest points, skill points. Doesn't really make sense that they're quest points. That's the thing. Quests are fetch 10 swords, get these things. So it doesn't really make sense that you skill points. It's pretty good. Your skell tree. I like it. What do you do after ending stream? Take a walk, continue stuff in sweet, sweet silence. I generally either get food or lay down. I'm generally like exhausted. And then there's usually a bunch of chores and stuff, errands I need to do, maybe some follow-up work. Oh man, I kind of want to go with skell points. Is that dumb? I love it. I, the person who proposed it, love it. I don't want to go too far in the tons of puns direction, only because I think it can get tiresome. But I like the idea. So now the question is, do we call them, which spelling do we prefer? Spelling number 1 or spelling number 2? Bones. Bones would, I feel like it'd be more like currency. I also don't exactly know why completing a quest would give you bones. Yeah. Which skelling? Upgrade your skelly skillies. Skell points. All right, let's go with this. I'm gonna take Chris's suggestion. Let's see if I regret this at some point. It's currency. That is, I'm not sure if it's clever or very lazy. So we're gonna call this skell points. And I guess you started 0 skell points. This is so silly. Take care, Russ Floppy. I'll be back on Wednesday, and then this Friday is the next interview with Sharon. I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't have any booked. So I gotta probably book some more, but that'll probably not be for till like September at least. All right, so skill points. And now when you get a reward, somewhere here I have like to do grant quest points. Yes, this. Yeah, so we'll just do skill points plus equal 1. Easy. Skell sounds like a fantasy currency name to me. Yeah, it's I don't know what you'd call this because it's not exactly a currency. I mean, it is a number that goes up, but you don't use it to buy things. You use it to get points. Okay, yeah, what I do. Thank you. Yeah. In fact, I will add that to my, I don't know if you're being serious, but I'm going to add it to my localization thing. Offers. There. Okay, so you get another skill point, and then they don't do anything. I guess we'll just print out the total number. You got int num points equals 1. Num points. You got, it should just know what to do, right? I'm going to type this. Scale points. You now have yeah. Oh man. I am just being silly. There's no escaping. I will hunt you down. I will get you to translate things. I have a very specific set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Taken 7. The dumbest of the movies. All right, so we got to complete a quest in order to get a skill point. I'm going to really regret not having set this to a very, very large number. All right, there we go. So now it should print out. Yep, you got 1 skill point. You now have 1 point. Let's accept another quest. Do we have any fire swords? We have 4, I think. 2, 3, 4. Was there another one? Yes, there was. You got 1 skill point. You now have 2 points. Okay, yeah, that's working. Well, we don't have a way of spending them yet. So grant quest points. Completing the quest. Oh, I should probably write this in here. I'm going to give Grace credit for this. Yeah. Would it be a skeleton? Yeah, I mean, I like the potential tagline for this game. Skeleton with a skeleton. I really like that. So I think I want to keep that. Yeah. Okay, now make the player-wide skill tree. I just don't know if I have the energy for that right now. Start by making some abilities that can be added or removed. We did that. Hard code the tree for now. First tree with prerequisites. Make sure there are at least a few skills there to show the player how this will work. Maybe even put one at the bottom that costs 100 points. I guess one of the cleanup things is make higher level quests grant more points. Add skill point reward to quest data and make sure it's used by town on quest completed. Basically every pun is funny. Hey, Alex. So how are we going to do this? We need a tree with connections and skills, and the connections light up when you can get something else. I guess if you take a point out of a skill early in the tree, should it delete everything else? This is something that, let's go see Diablo 2 skill calculator. How does it work over here? So I just click a class and I put a point here. So here, it's actually smart about this. It fills in all the prerequisites for you. But if I right click this one, yeah, it removes all the ones after it. It's kind of interesting, except that if you put a bunch of points there and you right click, then it removes all of those points. But I don't think that's going to be too bad for this game. Yeah, I think I want it to work like that. Usually you can't remove a point after you get a following node. Well, it's just sometimes it's kind of tedious to undo everything. Although I guess you could have a reset, and this probably has a reset somewhere. Yeah, there's an X up here. Yeah, because if I had to, like, let's say I had something like this here, I would have to right click this 6 times to be able to get rid of, oh, you can't. Oh, yeah. To get rid of this, and then get rid of this, and then get rid of this. It's like, I don't know. In game, it doesn't work like that anyway. Oh, yeah. In Diablo 2, it doesn't. I know. But still, like, what's the most usable interface you can think of for this? And it's probably something like that. Their arrows don't light up. Well, I don't remember how that works in game. Needs more BO. Yeah. I'm going to put all my points into taunt. There, that'll show them. Diablo 2 skill tree. I don't remember what it looks like in the game. Do they light up the arrows? I don't think so. I can't actually find a picture of this. Here we go. This is not using an amount of points you could actually get in the game. No, I guess they just never light up the arrows. Yeah. What did WoW do? Calculator. Well, here's, I don't know, here's the current version. I haven't played the current version. Did they light those up? They do. And they light them up before you've gotten it. Okay. I think I'd want to do something like that. And they allow, at least in here, for you to just, oh, you can't left click an ability far down the tree. Oh, because you could have multiple different prerequisite sets to get there? Is that why? No, that's not how prerequisites work. Oh, no, you can. Oh, wow, it is. Oh, yeah. So then they can't tell by you just left clicking which direction you would have come from. Okay, interesting. Well, I think I want something like that. And we don't need all of that at the very beginning, but I think it'd be nice. Right clicking a skill to remove a point, to remove the final point of a skill, should also remove all dependent skills. And left clicking a skill to add the first point should also grant all prerequisite skills. Okay, well, let's... This is a pretty massive undertaking, but let's start. Let's go make the skill tree. You got a skill tree and we got a skill tree. Maybe pulling up the skill tree is a good idea. No, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, it's a control and it's got some stuff. Yeah. So we'll do the same, you know, panel container, margin container, whatever. Change type to panel container. Call it panel. Actually, call it skill tree. I put an E on there, right? Yeah. So skill tree, underneath that is a margin container. And underneath that is just going to be, oh, actually, is making this a container even a good idea? We need just a bunch of random buttons in here. And right now, I think they're all taking up the entirety of this. What is going on? Test. Oh, no, they're not. Test 2. Yeah, so I want this to be much, much smaller. Yeah, I can't position this because of the margin bit. I guess we delete that and we just put it inside the panel container, which should not control the positioning. It does? What? I guess then we just make this underneath the control under here. Now we can drag this around. I don't know if this is a bad idea, although I guess really none of this matters too much because we can just change the looks of this in the future and not really affect too much. I don't want any scrolling or zooming at first, so I guess let's just place some skills somewhere. So maybe let's start with the simplest possible thing. Can we draw an arrow somehow? Like how would we do that? I guess it'd have to be a picture. So yeah, we need a texture rect. Or you know what we could do? We could make a label for right now. Yeah, and just have this be an arrow. A down arrow. This might not render correctly on certain platforms, because I remember in Idle Ascendance, if I run the game here, I'm pretty sure I use an arrow character and it doesn't even render correctly. Whatever, load game, it doesn't matter. This, yeah, that character just doesn't show up. Yeah, generate visual controls from data. I mean, you could make it do that, yeah. Because yeah, ideally, eventually, we have something where you manifest a skill tree through like a JSON blob and it just knows how to make it. But I don't think it's worth the effort to do that now. We want to get this working by like this Friday, basically. There's a problem in the build. Yeah, but I wonder, is that going to happen for this too? I guess if it does, we can just change this to an image. All right, so this is going to be called debug power, and this is going to be called debug money. And then we're going to need a button under here that is the close button. Close button, close. And we want this to take up the upper right. Is that possible? Not like this, it isn't. Well, let's save this as Skeleseller. This close button is just in the middle of all of this. So stupid. All right, HBox container. And then put the close button under there. Oh, you could probably just change the, let me try that again. We could probably change the sizing of this. Container sizing, here it is. So shrink end and shrink begin. Yeah, that's what I want. All right, now throw some margins on that bad boy. We're gonna, I should really make these consistent, but for now, let's just go 8, 8, 8, 8. Nice. We got a close button. Now let's attach a script to that thing. We got to find the right spot for that. Source, scene scripts, Skeleseller, create. All right, so we have a private button, close button equals null. Public override ready. Close button equals get node. Actually, it's going to be container.getNode. We're going to need the container. Button, close button. All right. What's the container? A control. Get node control. All right, where are you in the scene tree? Skeleseller / margin container. Okay, so it's just margin container. All right, then when you press the close button, we hide this UI. Next, we go over to town. We add the UI over to here, instantiate a Skeleseller. There we go, and save. Play this. So all we've done is we've made the close button work. Hooray. Oh, it's not even clickable? What? How did I mess that up? Did I mess that up? Is this not taking in? Mouse is set to pass. Receive mouse movement and mouse button inputs if clicked on through GUI input. I don't think there's a problem with that. It has to stop. Through this. Exited, yeah. There must be something covering it all. I guess this control? Yeah, it must be this control. So this should probably have things set to pass. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Maybe ignore. There we go. Okay, so now you can close it. You just can't open it. How should we allow you to open it? Maybe just press a key for now on the keyboard. Unhandled input. Yeah. Let's have it so that when you press home, UI home, we will show that. We don't have the skell tree right now though, so we got to go get that. I just did this with a start instance stuff. Wow, seriously? Wasn't expecting there to be that many of those. Skell tree. All right, then go instantiate this. So we have a skell tree. We have a skell tree. That's not going to get confusing at all. And when you press the home key, we're going to show the skell tree. Let's go try that. Actually, we should probably toggle it. Yeah, probably should toggle it. All right, so close, open, close, open. Yep. Looking good. Let's change it to a toggle. Visible equals not. Okay. Next up. These should be buttons that have tooltips, which means they need to be skill buttons, which means I need to figure out how this was supposed to work. Made the town environment, but can't get navigation to work. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, you could potentially push the branch or make a work in progress PR, and maybe I could take a look. I just don't know when I'd be able to do that. How about this? Just hard code a list of every single possible pixel and where their destination is and which pixel they should go to. And then use that mega list. A skill button? Is that what this is? Please tell me these are skill buttons. What is this? Instance skill button. Yeah, nice. Surely going to be ready in time. Yep. All right, so we should have instantiated these as skill buttons. And does it just get the name automatically? I don't know how this works. What is a skill button? What is a man? It's just input handlers. And it has an ability ID. Okay, so we still need to name it. Although we could do that through code. But I guess I'll call this debug power. And call this one debug money. Debug power skill button. Debug money skill button. Delete. Delete. I think I had these in a different order last time. I'll put them in the same order. Doesn't really matter. All right, so tooltips should just show on these? No, they don't have, oh, that sucks. Well, that really sucks. I hope it saved. Did it? Didn't. Is there a way to get my progress back? No. Oh, man. I hit the play button, didn't I? It's supposed to save it. All right, well, it's not like I did a ton. I just don't want to repeat the stuff I already did. All right, so debug power. Is it often unstable? It has been for me, but I'm using a beta build and I'm using it on Mac, and I think both of those things probably just lead to more bugs. Okay, let's save this now. Good, now I can't lose that. That's debug money, actually. All right, cool. So now I need to initialize these with their ability IDs. Skill button, debug power skill button, and debug money. And where do those exist? Inside the control? Skill container? It's not here, and it's not called anything other than just control. And now we want to get these things debug power skill and debug money skill. Then we initialize them. Debug power skill init. Why is there no init? Oh, we literally just have to set the ability ID? Huh. Interesting. Wait, this doesn't have on hover then. Oh my god. Drat. Super low timeout. I don't know if I have an autosave set in Godot. I don't think I do. I'm hesitant about autosave in an editor like Godot. In VS Code, I don't think it's too bad. But in Godot, I wonder if I would make changes and then not want them to be saved. But I guess I said the same thing about VS Code and it was fine. So maybe I should just set an autosave, although maybe this will also cause more problems. Editor settings. There. Autosave. Save before running? Oh, wait. Oh, here. That's the text editor, though. There's no way to set... Oh, man. Yeah, there's no way to autosave scenes, I guess. I like... So I have it set to autosave when I switch focus. So if I go from skill button over to here, it just saves skill button. So there's no longer that pink bar at the top. And that's predictable, and I like that. I think that works pretty well. And that way, whenever you switch away from your editor, like if you're doing web dev, then you know that your files are saved. I don't want it to autosave while I'm working on the document, but that's okay because it's not doing that right now. So we need to set the ability ID, but this won't give us hover over stuff. And actually, it should just work already. Like we are kind of connecting this stuff a little sooner than I thought. Ability ID equals ability IDs dot debug player power. And then actually, if we just press enter, it should get the next one. Yeah. All right, move this into a namespace. What else is in here? Customer, I guess. So we'll just copy paste that. Oh, let's try running that. As they typed. Oh man, I would not want that. Yeah, I still compulsively press Command S quite a lot to save. All right, so if I click this, it should be putting points into it, but there's literally no way to tell. But there would be for debug money, I think. If I click this a few times and then I sell an item, I should be making like a ludicrous amount of money. So instead of selling for 20, it sold for 40. No, that's not a ludicrous amount of money. That didn't work at all. Wait, why would that work? Of course, I never connected anything to this. I'm just making stuff up over here. Ugh. Try manually save because it was automatically saved. There'd be no feedback. Yeah, well, that's why I have all these really obnoxious things up in the title bar here. There's like 5 dots on either side, and this turns bright pink. That's so I can clearly tell that something is or is not saved. So if as soon as I press space, you see all the dots and everything. And that really helps me. And the pink you can see from everywhere on your screen. It's very bright. Okay, so we need to handle left click and right click. And this is where this stuff's going to get pretty obnoxious. Pretty quickly. So this needs to know about your ability component, which we could pass in by reference. And we need to be careful that if the references ever change, that this is fine. So private abilities component equals null. Did I ever clone the abilities? I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I got to do that. Make sure I clone the player abilities when I pass them into battle. For right now, it doesn't really matter because they only act at the beginning of battles, but that may not always be the case in the future. So we need to init this. Public void init. It should. Yeah, nice. Okay, now I need to pass that in. Town Start game init. There's no init. It's all just ready. And yeah, there's a bunch of inits happening here. All right, this is what the Skeletree.init with player abilities. But that won't work because we're about to create a new one of those. Well, isn't that fun? I guess we could change how this works. We could, instead of doing player abilities, we could do player abilities dot clear or abilities dot clear, and then just set the abilities to this. It's not settable. Wow. Yeah, private set. All right, I guess I never had a reason to do that. But what if we now had a reason to do that? We have create from ability IDs. That's actually kind of cool. I think I want to just be able to set this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make this settable. Change it to be read-only. Oh, man. Fine, I'll make a public setter. Public void set all abilities. Makes a new collection out of these. Why? What if I didn't? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do set all abilities and pass this in. There. All right. Now we need to be able to modify. So when you left click the power skill, let's just modify your money ability. This is how you know that nothing's making any sense. We'll put it on the money skill. It's fine. All right. So player abilities components. It's really just player abilities. Dot. Can we increase the level? Modify ability level. Yep. Yep. There we go. And let's print out the level that it currently is. Player money ability. Yeah. Name abilities not exist. Player abilities. All right. I think this will work. Chat was actually pretty active this morning. It was nice to see. I think during the botland days, I got sidetracked very frequently. And I think I've been on a productivity stint for quite a long time now. I've just been kind of talking out loud. People are probably doing their own thing in the background. I know I'm lower energy than normal too. We can't all have ability 37. All right, so when I click money, it should up that level. Yeah, so now it thinks it's level 4. So I close that UI and I grant an item. So now each of these should be worth five times. I guess 75 maybe? I'm not actually sure. But I think our money is just going to jump to 75. And yep, nice. And then another 75. Perfect. Yeah. Have a great balance. I think it's gotten more skewed toward the productivity side of things. I remember a long time ago, like years ago now, when someone would raid me and then I'd be demoing the game, I'd be talking about stuff, there'd usually be questions and people are like, when are you going to code? And now I think I would respond differently to that, but also I think knowing that people want to see what is the normal content here, I also try to just get to that a little faster. I pretty much cut out all the cruft of a stream. It's like some bathroom breaks and then 30 seconds for an intro, 30 seconds for a closing. Yeah, when am I going to code? Stop responding to Raimu over here. Responding to Raimu. This is working. It's not well made, but it's working. I wonder if there's a way. Okay, I could think of a way that we could make this a little bit easier. What if we had a dictionary of buttons to ability IDs? I mean, at that point, we might as well just have the buttons themselves manifest the ability ID and export it, and then we can set it through the UI, although that's also kind of tedious. I'm just going to put this here. Okay, so let's do dictionary of... We don't need individual buttons, right? Yeah, I guess this. Debug player power ability. debug power skill button. Okay, now fill in the next thing for me. Do it, AI. Yeah. Use trailing comma. Type or namespace of dictionary can't be found. Remove unused local variable. Yeah, cool. So now we go through all of the ability IDs for each in this. Skill button equals get node, left click, modify. Yeah, cool. That's everything I want. Delete that, delete. Oh, wait. We need this. Skill button dot ability ID. What is the problem here? Skill button does not exist in the current context. Oh, I typed 3 T's. It's a butt ton of skills. All right, yeah, I think that looks good. So we don't need this anymore. We don't need this. And then we can add a left click pressed. Skill button dot, or right click pressed, I mean. Cool. Ski, you started using Copilot though, right? I'm guessing it's been helping you still. Okay, so we can left click this and add points. We can right click this and remove points. We can apparently try going below 0. That is not a good idea. So we need to enable and disable these properly. This is all stuff that should probably be refactored with the other ability thing. Make sure you can't remove or add too many points to a skill. E.g., nothing should let you get to -1 skill point. Back to raw. Yeah. If it helps you, I think it's worth using. If it doesn't help you, I think it's worth trying again in 6 months. You know, some tools you could just put aside forever because they're probably not going to change too much, but I don't think AI is going to fit into that bucket. And I think probably it's worth giving a shot pretty much every 6 months until you feel like not everybody's saying AI every third word. I've done a ton of coding. Gotcha. Spiel, welcome back. Thanks for the half year. Always appreciate having your stream motivate me during my workday with your productivity and organizational habits. Keep it going. Yeah, thank you. I plan on just doing the stuff you've been seeing for pretty much the last few months for the rest of the year. Game dev, interviews, mentoring. That's about it. And actually, mentoring might stop for a little while, maybe in like October. I still need to figure out what I'm going to do, and I'm still torn on that. Okay, in general, this is pretty good. This is the foundation of this. And actually, you know what? If I do just slap a bunch of buttons in here and kind of hack this UI together, I don't think this will be too bad. I don't think it's going to be the prettiest thing for sure, but it'll hopefully work. But yeah, there's quite a lot of work left to do. I'm going to spend a lot of time off stream tomorrow working on this so that hopefully by the end of Wednesday, we could be mostly done with this task because we have 2 other really important tasks and not a lot of time. Quests, I think the most important part, then some amount of content. And then I really want to get this done, but we'll have another week if this isn't so important by the weekend. But yeah, content is things like we have enemies in the game, but we are not using all the graphics. We haven't, added new areas and stuff. We need maybe another, I don't think we'll have time for another class entirely. Can we change the arrow to a bone arm? That would be kind of cool. Yeah. I'll write that down in the ideas list. The reason why I'm trying to scramble for this stuff by the end of this week is because I booked a user research session with a friend of mine, and I'm probably going to target like Saturday for it. And it's really just, it's 30 minutes. I'm going to have them record themselves, and then I want to watch and see what happened. What were they thinking? What were they going through? And I think it's important for it to be a recording in this case because so many people are going to play this game in a week and a half, and they're not going to have me there to ask questions necessarily. So if I were on a call, I think that it would be tempting to be like, oh yeah, here's how you solve your problem. Whereas if you let someone flounder around, then they'll try some things and then maybe give up. And if they do give up, that's something I got to work on through the game. Also, before I pass this off, I probably need to look at that nudge system again. There's some text in the game that I haven't looked at in a while. Let's rerun this and see what's going on. Why is it even, what? I don't know what that was. Anyway, this says, welcome to an early alpha of Skeleseller. And then eventually this says to do something. I don't know what. And I don't remember if this stuff is still relevant. I guess we could just go look at the nudge system. There is no nudge system. What do I call it? There are nudge labels. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here are all the messages. Hire an adventurer to be able to do battle. Was this ever necessary? Start a battle to earn items. Yeah, so it tells you to do that. So then you start a battle and it fades away. And then what? Upgrade your storeroom so you can hold more items, and then consider selling or providing feedback. Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's Vito. I do something wrong. They say, oh, you don't do that. I do it anyway. No touchy the button. Gain so much about what they do and what they notice versus what you think they should do in notes. Yeah, exactly. And the only problem is that every time you do it with a user, now they can never do it for the first time again. So I'm going to eventually exhaust the pool of people kind of close to me, and then I'll need to reach out farther afield. And when I do that, I feel like I should, well, even with the friends, I'm going to offer something. Either probably like a free game or free t-shirt, maybe. Turn them into advertisements for Skeleseller. I've been thinking of some like super zany ads that I could do. Like imagine if I got one of those cheap Halloween skeleton costumes and I just filmed myself in a dark room and I'm like, here's the game I made. I feel like you've got to nail the right level of cheesiness and actual gameplay and I don't know, like production quality. Who did this well? It was another streamer, Tober Prime, I think, did this with their game. Where's their game? Oh, man. Yeah, I think it was Savage, the Shard of Ghost. Is this it? Yeah. Yeah, they did like an old school video. It looks like something you'd see on a VHS tape. They got some skeletons in here. They got a dude with a sword. So yeah, it's like, it's a cheesy trailer, but it really stuck out to me. And yeah, and they show some gameplay in there too. And I think of ideas like that, and I don't know. I don't have the time or budget or anything to do that sort of thing. Yeah, I agree, Ski. To add some non-invasive telemetry, which records the user's webcam. Yeah, and their microphone. I think also, can we get like a USB blood sample device or something? That might be helpful. Maybe just import the HIPAA module and everything would just be protected. Okay, yeah, I've run out of steam. I have done a lot today. We made some progress. Let's write in the old journal. I love when that happens because it hasn't fully initialized yet. Started working on the revamped quest system. Made some decent progress. Although I got stuck on enum values needing a none value. Anything else? I think that's pretty much all that happened today. Yeah, thanks, Caleb. Yeah, again, for those who haven't heard, on July 26th is the target launch for checkpoint number 2. Checkpoint number 1, I mean, looked kind of similar to what you see here. There were a couple of differences on the overworld, but then there's going to be a lot of interface differences, a lot of just kind of little changes that make it feel a little more like a game and a little less like, oh yeah, this was hacked together in a weekend or something. Not that even that was hacked together in a weekend. This was a month of work. But yeah, 2 months of work, 4 months of work are going to look drastically different. Let me go find somebody to raid. Oh, Lana's still going. I bet she's going to stop soon, but I'm still going to raid her. I tuned in very briefly this morning. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Can I add crits? Crits are already there on the rogue at least. I'll be back on Wednesday. It should just be a normal stream. Hopefully I've gotten more sleep. But yeah, thanks and see you later.